Welcome back to 90 Minutes Later. Skip the boring corporate studio fluff because today we are dissecting a certified 21st century football heist. For 60 minutes, England fans across the globe and our soccer-loving friends in the States genuinely believed they were watching a tactical masterpiece. Thomas Tuchel's England had the perfect plan. They rolled up with heavy metal pressing, a physical onslaught designed to suffocate an Argentina side that had been dragged through 3 consecutive 120-minute death matches. Tuchel looked at Argentina and said, "These guys are tired. They start games messy. We bury them now." And for a brief moment, the American savior narrative worked. Tuchel set up Morgan Rogers and Reece James to bully the flanks. Then, boom! Anthony Gordon scores a beautiful, clinical counterattack goal. 1-0 to England. The pub was bouncing, the English tea was sweet, and the "it's coming home" sirens were blaring. But here is the brutal truth. England didn't just lose this game. They got masterfully, systematically dismantled by a group of street-smart gladiators who literally invited them into a trap. You see, while England was busy playing beautiful, high-intensity football for about 10 minutes, Argentina was playing chess. Lionel Scaloni's men didn't panic when England pressed. Why? Because they are the undisputed kings of what we call the art of suffering. When England wanted to run, Argentina broke the game into pieces. They fouled, they provoked, they got into fights, and they made the referee the busiest man in the stadium. They dragged England into a grueling, physical mud fight. And then came the second half. People in the UK media are crying today that Tuchel surrendered the game. Let me correct you right there. You cannot surrender something you never actually owned. England didn't have control. Argentina actively opened the pitch, took the ball and said, "Okay, kids, playtime is over." And this is where the podcast gets highly controversial, so grab your popcorn. How on earth did Argentina, a team of players who spent the last year looking absolutely ordinary in Europe, suddenly play like Avengers? Let's look at the Premier League bias. Alexis McAllister was basically missing in action for Liverpool toward the end of the season. Enzo Fernandez was wandering around Stamford Bridge looking like a lost tourist. Lisandro Martinez and Christian Romero were giving Manchester United and Tottenham fans weekly panic attacks. Yet, they put on that blue and white striped shirt, and suddenly McAllister is invading the box like Frank Lampard, Enzo is striking long-range missiles, and Romero is defending like his life depends on it. It's almost as if they spent the entire European club season working from home, saving every single ounce of their energy for Scaloni and the World Cup. By the 79th minute, England's high-paid Premier League stars were completely gassed. Declan Rice, out. Reece James, out. They couldn't keep up with the physical intensity of a team that supposedly had no legs left. And then, of course, there is the cheat code, the man who supposedly went to America to retire. Lionel Messi. He didn't need to run 10 miles. He just used basic physics and human psychology to break England's defense. Look at Argentina's 1-1 equalizer. Messi gets the ball on his left foot. Now, every English defender in a 10-mile radius has PTSD from Messi's left foot. Elliot Anderson, who was supposed to be marking Enzo Fernandez, panics. He abandons his zone to double-team Messi. Messi, with the vision of a NASA satellite, simply slides the ball to the completely unmarked Enzo, who buries it. Messi didn't even touch the scorer, but his mere gravitational pull created the goal. But the real tragedy for England was the 2-1 winner in the 86th minute. Kieran Trippier, who had played an absolute blinder of a game, got hurt in a challenge with Messi. In American sports, we talk about grit. In football, we talk about willpower. Trippier got hurt, and for a split second, his survival instinct kicked in. He paused. He looked like he wanted to stop and wave for the physio. Against Messi, a split-second pause is a death sentence. Messi didn't care about Trippier's pain. He whipped an absolute beauty of a cross, using his right foot of all things, directly onto the head of the winner. Tuchel had already made his all-in defensive gamble. He had subbed off his creative outlet, Gordon and Rogers, and brought on extra defenders to park the bus. Once that second goal went in, England was a dead man walking. They had no attackers left to fight back in the final minutes or extra time. Kanchbak của Tuchel đã thất bại thảm hại. So, what is the moral of this story? Tuchel went into the press conference and tried to rationalize it on his whiteboard. Sure, Thomas, on paper, your defensive block made sense. But football isn't played by robots. England has a gold-plated billion-dollar generation of talent, but they are still paralyzed by the fear of their own success. The moment they got a lead, they reverted back to their cowardly DNA. You can change the manager. You can hire a German tactician, a Champions League winner. But you cannot easily change the fearful soul of an entire football nation. Argentina is back in the World Cup final. Scaloni's machine rolls on. And England? Well, they are going home to do what they do best: complain about the referee, blame the manager, and wait another 4 years. But what do you guys think? Did Tuchel deserve the hammering he's getting, or was Trippier's lapse in concentration the real culprit? Can anyone ever cure the psychological sickness of English football? Drop your hot takes below, hit that subscribe button, and join the debate. I'll see you next time on 90 Minutes Later. Peace.